It's a VGBLTPTA! I totally suck at video games, but love to play them anyway.
Welcome to the first episode of WC, or Worth the Cost. I'll take a game I've beaten, discuss what I liked, kind of liked, and disliked about it, then figure out if it was worth what I paid for it. And seeing how I have a huge backlog of games, I'll also judge if the game is worth what it costs nowadays as well, if applicable. This video should be going up either on or right after Valentine's Day, so I decided to start this new series with a game that oozes romance and visions of love, Katherine! First, a quick story rundown. You play as Vincent, who is dating Katherine with a K. She wants to step up the relationship, he wants to hang out with his bros and keep the status quo. Vincent starts having some weird dreams where he climbs block formations in his boxers and talks to sheep. And this escalates quickly after he meets Katherine with a C, a sexy temptress appearing just as Vincent is waffling on his romantic ambitions. Vincent has to juggle both Katherines during the day, while going through terrors at night that could actually get him killed if he fails. What happens to Vincent depends on what the player wants him to do. Now to the gameplay. During the day, Katherine plays something like a visual novel, though you can move around. This is when you talk to characters, check your cell phone, tackle any side quests, and most importantly, this is when you make choices that affect the story and relationships within. At night, the game turns into a time-based puzzle platformer, and it is no walk in the park. Vincent needs to strategically move and climb blocks to reach the top before the bottom drops out and plunges him into the depths below. Add in enemies, different block types, and terrifying bosses, and you get some tense gameplay. What did I like? First off, the art and graphics are gorgeous. I love me some anime cutscenes, but I actually like the in-game graphics of Katherine better. The engine they used to represent the characters in a distinctly anime style just looks amazing. Also, you don't get faces like this with the in-game models. Katherine was Atlus's way to try out an HD graphics engine on the then current gen systems, and it passed the test with flying colors. Another bit I liked were the surveys at the end of certain puzzle levels. While it's kind of a cheap way to have the player affect the story, either decision weighing towards one Katherine or the other, I liked seeing what choices everyone else was making. Playing this game right when it came out and seeing which way on the scale people were going for was a lot of fun. The environments in the game are enjoyable as well. The bar is cool and feels like it could be a real one out there somewhere. The nightmare areas are creepy and emanate despair, as well they should. All in all, the art direction in this game really hit me in a happy place. So what was I meh on? Sadly, the characters and story itself aren't deep or fleshed out as much as I would have liked, especially coming from an Atlus game. Even when trying to dig for details, the support characters are barely there for anything more than plot points or trophies. I wanted to know more about Johnny's crush on Katherine, or anything about Toby besides his infatuation with Erica. Even the main trio are limited in any deep character reference or growth thanks to the ability for different endings. The main story, while certainly interesting, lacked any real lasting or memorable parts for me. I liked it, but I feel it could have been done better. The choices you make during the daytime and the surveys during the puzzles aren't difficult to decode if you're going for a certain Katherine result. I would have liked some more morally gray choices. And for some questions, I didn't want to choose any option, or none applied to my way of thinking, so that was disappointing, though understandable with the game's limits. As for sound, I liked the main theme. The puzzle sections were set to different adapted classical pieces, which, while they did fit the atmosphere, didn't lead to any powerful wow songs. The dubbing was well done, with voices very familiar to any Atlus fan. Hello, Troy Baker and Laura Bailey. But I wish they could have included the Japanese voices as well. What did I not like? Well, the gameplay, actually. Timed puzzles are not my thing at all. I enjoy being able to take my time on puzzles, but Katherine has constant threats pushing you along and trying to freak you out while you're scanning the next row of blocks to find a climbing strategy. I can see this being fun to those who have the thought process for it, and I've seen some speedruns that blow my mind. But for me, the puzzle sections almost made the game unplayable. Even on easy mode, I could only make it to the 6th dungeon area and the introduction of ice blocks before it became too frustrating. The only reason I was able to beat this game was thanks to super easy mode letting me climb 3 blocks at a time instead of the normal 1 due to a certain item drop. This mode helped me a lot, but it still felt like I was simply slogging through the puzzle sections so I could have a short breath of fresh air in the scant character interaction and development during the daytime sections of the game. I paid $80 for Katherine, pre-ordering the limited edition of course. The goodies in this edition included a t-shirt, boxers, pillowcase, mini art book, and a soundtrack sampler, all stored in a pizza box from the bar in the game. The swag was well worth the extra $20, but was the game itself worth the $60 cost? No, not really, at least not for me. Considering I hated the main form of gameplay, $60 is too high. There are 8 different endings, so multiple playthroughs increase the value, but when you don't want to play most of the game, that fact doesn't help. Now, to be fair, I did marathon this game the day I got it, playing until I got to an ending. The true chaos ending, which is quite possibly the best ending ever. But after that, I haven't touched the game because playing through the puzzles just to grab more endings was not appealing enough, especially with YouTube existing. Katherine came out in North America July 26th, 2011. It wasn't worth the cost then, but is it worth the cost now in February of 2014? Looking around the web, Katherine on PS3 goes for about $20. For what the game offers, and definitely if you like the puzzle gameplay, $20 is a good deal. So if you don't own Katherine yet, and if this video got you somewhat intrigued, now's the time to snag it and see which Katherine is your Valentine. Thanks for watching the first ever WC. If you liked it, hated it, or have anything to add, please leave a comment here, on my Facebook page, or on my Twitter. Remember, this has all been my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt if you don't agree. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I guess I didn't really get much sleep last night.
Obviously.